Hello, everyone. Tonight, it's Final Thoughts. And I hope that everybody will join us. We're about to get ourselves a horn ready. And hopefully, we'll see some new people tonight. So come and join us, guys. Let's get a horn of water ready. Of course, we got our drinking horn here. And here we go. All right. What's up, Amethyst? How you doing? Welcome into the show tonight. As normal, we're going to wait for a few people to show up, and then we're going to get started. Okay, everybody? For now, let's see what happens. Yeah, you didn't miss this one, my friend. But don't worry if you miss one, or two or three, because that's why they're recorded. What's up, Ketchup Eats the Universe? How you doing? You must have been Ketchup Head Gamer. At least I think you must have been. But thank you for the likes, guys. Here's a scald to our first like, and a scald to Amethyst for being the first one in here in a long time of accidentally missing them. Good old scald. Oh, yeah. I was just watching Nightshade. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was you, man. Well, all right, guys. We've got a few people in here. Oh, hey, Purple Zombies. We got a few people in here. Let's go on ahead and let's get into tonight's topic. All right, guys. How do you deal with somebody in crisis? And what constitutes as a crisis? Okay, guys. Here's the deal. Everybody's level of crisis is different. All right? What might seem like a small problem to you is a big deal to somebody else. You ever heard the term making mountains out of molehills? Well, if you haven't, what it basically means is you blow the subject out of proportion. You make the problem seem bigger than what it was. And by doing that, some people actually create a crisis for themselves, and how do you deal with that? Well, guys, first off, let's examine the different kinds of crises that you can encounter, and then we'll talk about how to handle them. All right, first off, there's a personal crisis. Now, this can be mental, this can be financial, this can be marital, this can even be parental. Guys, like I've had a friend of mine who was rather old. He was a Desert Storm veteran. He came up to me one day and he asked me, "Man, you're the most open-minded guy I know. What do I do? I have this situation and I don't know how to handle it. My son came out of the closet to me. He's gay. And we don't believe in that. That's against our faith." And I was like, that's a big, tough one, man. That really is. But here's what I can tell you. He's your son. He's no different than he always has been. So remember that. The only difference is he don't like girls. That's it. And he ended up being able to accept it and move on, guys. But he was in a serious crisis up until then, man, because he had cussed and screamed and threw a fit at his son, told him he disowned him, and a few other things, and so he was in a crisis because he thought he had lost his only child and he thought it was his fault, guys. So I had to talk him through that. Well, there's situations that are financial, like a friend calls you up, "Hey, man, I can't afford groceries. I got all my bills paid, but I can't feed my family." Guys, that's a financial crisis, or you have mental crisis, PTSD fits, anxiety fits, panic attacks, schizophrenia episodes in my case. How do you handle those? You got to handle those carefully, guys. Those are the tricky ones. Those are the ones that require practice because it's not easy to handle people that are having a mental crisis. Guys, it's rather difficult. And boy, are them frogs getting at it tonight. But anyway, those are real tricky, and sometimes those can get kind of dangerous. And then you have marital crises. Somebody comes to you, hey man, I think I found my wife cheating. How do you deal with that? Guys. Well, this is how I know. All right, guys. First off, to my parental friend, I told you how I handled it. I told him, he's your son no matter what. You have a kid that, you raised to be a good kid, and he turns out to be a drug addict and a thief and, a gangbanger or something like that. But you raised him better than that. Realize it's not your fault. You raised him right. It's the outside world that would have failed him at that point. But you did your job. So you need to love that child with all your heart, regardless. Guys, because they're still your baby. Now, when it comes down to, situations like addiction, do your best to help pull them out of it. Show them what they're doing wrong. Point out their shortcomings. Remind them of who they used to be. Eventually, it's going to sink in. And I'll tell you right now, they'll come crying to you for help. Might take a long time, but they'll come crying to you for help. Now, the next one. How do you handle a mental crisis? Guys, these are way hard to handle sometimes. Let's say you have a friend. You know them, and they're going through a serious mental breakdown, guys. I'm not talking about they're ranting and raving and mad as hell. No, I'm not talking about that, guys. I'm talking about they are absolutely lit. They're completely out of their mind. They're wigging out. They're ripping clothes off. They're screaming at the top of their lungs. They're wide-eyed. They're bolting at anything near them. They're hitting anybody that's around them, whether they're friend or foe. They're wigging out. Guys, how do you handle that? Well, I happen to get close enough to the person that I know that used to do this, to where anytime I would call their name, they would start to calm down. Because they knew they were about to have a good heart-to-heart with somebody that was close to them, that would understand, that wouldn't judge them for anything that they did, no matter how messed up it was, and then you have, somebody who's going through, like a panic attack. First off, guys, you got to show them everything's okay. Everything's calm. You have to prove it to them. And you've got to constantly remind them throughout. And guys, a lot of times you need to remind these people to drink some water, because drinking water keeps you calm. Guys, it will help calm you down. It will help soothe you, because it gives you something else to focus on, because you got to swallow. You can't freak out because you'll drown yourself. The last thing you want to do is drown on land. But anyway, guys, somebody going through a medical crisis can also sometimes be really hard to deal with, and then sometimes those medical crises and those mental crises clash and become one big pile of, oh crap, how do I handle this one? And guys, I deal with that on a regular basis. Unfortunately, my friend has mental and physical crisis that he deals with regularly, because of the pain, the fact that he doesn't feel the same way he used to, but the greatest thing about it is that he's still strong every day he gets up. So how do I handle it whenever he's freaking out? and he's actually asking for a shotgun. I simply tell him, no, man, I can't let your family down that way. I can't let myself down that way. And I dang sure can't let you take the easy way out because you wouldn't let me. And he knew it. He knew it. So that's why he asked for a few minutes on his own. Which I gave it to him. I let him calm down. I came back to him and he was just fine. Guys, but sometimes it takes a little bit of a gentle touch. Sometimes you just got to sit there and listen. If they're going through a mental crisis, just sit there and listen. Sometimes that's all it takes. If they're freaking out, let them vent. Let them get it out. Encourage them. Calm them down. Reassure them. But let them get it out. And usually, guys, they'll feel a lot better. You have those rare occasions where they hyperventilate, but that's a whole new situation. That turns into a medical crisis at that point. But the greatest thing about it is the simple part that you got to take and step back sometimes and look at what this person is going through, what they're experiencing, not what you think they should be able to do. Look at what they can do. Look at who they are. They are always going to be different from you. Every person out there. There's never anybody who's exactly alike. You may think alike, but you're not exactly alike. You see, because of what I have to put up with, my friend has mad respect for me because he couldn't do it. He couldn't handle it. But because of what he goes through, I have mad respect for him because I couldn't handle it. I wouldn't be able to deal with it, guys. It would freak me out, and there's been a lot of things. Oh yeah, glitched. I still haven't counted my mods yet, brother. I still have to figure out how to. I have to get them all in the same room at one night. I just forgot to answer you, James. Sorry. But anyhow, so yeah. How do you deal with somebody who's going through a serious issue though? Like a medical problem, like a heart attack. Guys, don't listen to what they say. If they say they're fine, you call an ambulance, because you might just save their life. Guys, if somebody is going through a medical issue and it's obvious they're struggling, help them. Don't stand there and let them suffer. Figure out what you can do. Make sure that you can make whatever crisis it is that they're going through better on them, easier on them. You will see a difference, in yourself, how you feel, and in the person. The more supportive you can be of someone, the more you'll sit there and see a difference in them. Because take my Jen, for example, guys. She was so shy and timid when we first met. Now she jumps into the conversation and makes it her own. She's so great at what she does. And I love her to death for that. I could never give up on her. She's amazing. But she has problems. She gets crises that she deals with on a regular basis. That guess what? I have to help her with. Not that I want to. Not that I choose to. Or blah, 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 blah. Wrong wording. Not that I have to, but because I choose to, but because I want to. Not because I'm obligated, but because I want to. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I get my words all backwards. I even say it with my friends. So I apologize for that. I have a speech impediment with my schizophrenia. But it's not often. Plus, you get tongue-tied. Anyway, so I don't do it out of feeling of obligation. You do it because you want to. You help them because they're there. They need it. And you're there. And you can provide it. Guys. And like when my friend had to go to the hospital. She had a medical crisis. I had no problem taking her to that hospital. Granted, I'm not the best driver in the world, and I had to drive in the middle of a city, but I did it. I did it, guys. I got her there. I got her treated, and I even got that little baby treated, and that is just going to show you that, you see someone in crisis, there's different ways to help. In the case of the woman with the infant, I ended up throwing a big enough fit for the head nurse to show up. In the case of my friend, I threw a big enough fit to where the doctor finally got up off of his butt, and I got her there because I wouldn't let her go to work otherwise. I took the keys from her. But, guys, there's so many different ways to handle someone in crisis. Financial crisis, look through what you got, man. Either that or go over there and talk to them about maybe having a garage sale. If they ain't got a lot, see what you got. Maybe all you and your friends can come together, have a garage sale, and give him and let him have the cash for it. That's always a good way to help out when it comes down to financial. When it comes down to medical, a lot of times you just got to get them to a doctor, or get them to a hospital of some kind. But when it comes down to parental, marital, or just a simple midlife crisis, that's even still a crisis. But if you have even so much as a simple midlife crisis, guys, that you're dealing with, a lot of the times it takes the simple truth and a kind hand, and things will change for the person. But you have to be the one to initiate that kindness. You have to be the one to be willing to give that love and affection in exchange for possibly nothing, guys. But it's rewarding for you nonetheless. Why? Because, well, if you believe in karma, then what goes around comes around. You're going to eventually have somebody do something really good for you whenever you need it. If you're Wiccan and you believe in the laws of three, then you'll get all that good energy and that good vibes delivered upon you threefold. So there's always a reason to want to help somebody, especially if they're in a crisis. You never know who might end up becoming your next best friend. You never know who might end up becoming the next best man at your wedding, or might end up becoming your next wife or husband. You never know. But what I can say is that when you help somebody who's truly in a crisis and you figure out that one little thing that can bring them out of it, that one little itty bitty thing that could just make their day, then you can actually turn around what could have been a serious problem. The thing is, you got to find that one mark. It's like hunting. You got to find the perfect spot before you take your shot. You got to have the right ammo too. So you got to have the right joke or piece of wisdom or bit of advice or whatever. You got to have just the right one, because if not, you might get lost in translation or do like what happened with me once and accidentally offend the person. But other than that, guys, there's nothing wrong with helping somebody who's in dire need. There's nothing wrong with looking at the world as a chance to make everybody's life better, whether they're in crisis or not. But I'm telling you right now, oh, I did forget one. There's environmental crisis that people can be going through. Somebody who went through a flood, donate some clothes, maybe some food. Somebody who went through an earthquake, send them an MRE kit. Of someone who, you see something going on overseas, see if you can find a family to sponsor. Guys, my friend Muhammad in Kashmir, he's dealing with a terrorist attack right now. Terrible situation. 28 innocent people dead, and I feel sorry for his country, guys. You know, I feel for them. I really do. But how do you help this man in crisis? His whole country's in crisis. What do you do? The only bit of advice I could give him was that all things come to an end, and his suffering and the problems that are facing his country will come to an end eventually. That's the only advice I could give him. And I feel bad because, that's all I could think of. I wish I had some kind of magical answer. Guys, I'm just a man. I'm just a guy from swamps, from a floodplain in the middle of Southeast Texas. That's just all I am. I just happen to know some things or two, and one of the things I know about is dealing with people who are going through a crisis. Why? Because I am a crisis. My mom used to sit there and tell me I was her own little walking migraine. But I love her to death. My mom right now is a good example. She's going through a financial crisis. What can I do to help? I want to help, but there's nothing I can do. The best I could ever offer is to go do some fishing and try to take and bring her some fresh meat. That's all I can really offer. But other than that, I don't really have much I can do. Now, for these last few minutes, because there's pretty much nothing else. We've touched up on everything we can touch up on right now for dealing with someone in a crisis. But let's give a quick little examination of one more thing. Guys, here's the biggest one. If you see someone and you notice that internally there is a problem, like you can look at them and tell there's something going on. Guys, don't be afraid to offend them and ask, because you never know when that question can save someone's life. I heard of a lot of stories where a woman was sitting there, just tears running down her eyes. Someone asked if she was okay, and she just looked at him and dropped a note on the ground. And when they walked away, the note said, "I am not okay. Call 911." Guys, she was in human trafficking. Her and 9 other women got saved. That was in downtown Houston. So never be afraid to ask. Never be afraid to offer advice. Never be afraid to be a friendly ear, even to a stranger, because you don't know who it is that is truly behind that mask you see. He could be your next best friend. She could be your next biggest thing, or the mother of your child. You never know. So the best thing you can do is remember the last little bit of my motto: always find a way to help, guys. So with that being said, let's jump into a quick little announcement. I've got a really interesting thing to tell you guys. My stepmom called. Her and my dad are going to be taking us out to the thicket sometime next week. So we get to do another outdoor special in the thicket with you guys. So I hope y'all enjoy that, because it's going to be awesome. We might just show y'all a different part of the thicket instead of just the bridge, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to take you guys there. I know y'all love my nature videos, and it's always fun to actually be able to spend some time with my dad out in the woods, to be able to go get back to our roots. And guys, I'm going barefoot this time, so I'm really going to enjoy it. But there's never a bad time unless it's storming. But what I mean is, if there's great weather and you've got good company and you've got the time, there's never an excuse not to go enjoy nature with a friend, especially a dear family member like a mother or a father. Because, guys, you never know when you're going to lose that person. You never know what day that's going to be. And the older they get, the closer that day comes. So enjoy. Spend every minute you can. Make sure that they're happy as much as they need to make sure you're happy. You know, guys, that is the cycle of family. That is the cycle of life. So, in order to make sure that you keep up with this beautiful cycle, you've got to remember, stay kind, stay open, and above all, speak from the heart and let the gods work your mouth. Let them speak through you. And always tell the truth, because it always helps you. So, guys, that little bit being said, let's get on into the hangout, shall we? Here we go. Skull to everybody who showed up. We got 17 likes. We got 14 new people in here. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell icon. Come join the family, everybody. We're sitting here tonight right after Final Thoughts, and this is a scald to all of our current and new friends. Hold on a moment. Yes, sir.
I'm not a sir.
What you want?
And when's that fire gonna be out? It's been running for like 4 hours.
It'll go out when it goes out. I'm watching it. I got it. Don't worry. I'm on my live, sweetie. All right.
Boy.
All right.
Oh, my window's broken.
No, my window's not broken. My screen is.
Bye.
Bye. That's my niece. Now, Scald. Scald, everybody. All right. So, how's everybody doing? What's up, Bubba? What you got? I've died twice, guys. Let me be real. There isn't really anything on the other side. Oh, I got you. I got you there. I didn't know that about you, Flying 90. Oh, yeah. Skull to everyone. Amethyst. Yes, I checked out 2 or 3 of your videos real quick. I had to check out more. Sweetie, I've got a lot of people that I check up on. So, please forgive me. You hit 53 to 55 subs today. All right, Bubba. There you go. What you need there, Foxy? Weather's great, in case you haven't heard the frogs. Ooh. Clint, is love you a great guy. However, I'm very upset today in Jinjin's live. Davey came to her live and asked her how she reached 1,000 subs for inspection, and she was extremely disrespectful. Oh, Foxy. All right, I'll talk with her. You hit 30 subs. Congratulations, Amethyst. You died multiple times and been revived. Ooh. You died as well, emergency response? Dead gum. 1,005 subs so far, sweetheart. You know, next time, sweetie, try to be a little nicer if someone comes in, especially somebody who's been an old fan. All right? You know, I'll talk to you a little bit later about it, okay? Oh, I got you, Foxy. I got you. You almost died a lot of times, Subject 14. I got you, Jin Jin. It's okay. Go right on ahead, Glitched. Do your thing, man. Himothy. Thank you so much for saying reach 1 billion subs, man. That would be great. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Bingo. All right, there we go. Oh, I'm doing great there, Purple Zombies. Oh, yeah, sorry, guys. It's just, oh, wow. I did not appreciate the long Sigh and eye rolling, Jin Jin. Oh, okay. Oh, it was a sudden blood pressure drop now, Night. It was good. That's good, Nightshade. I'm glad you're okay. How long have I been farming and stuff like that? Himothy, I've been dealing with cattle and raising other kinds of animals my whole life. Like literally since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I understand, Foxy. Let's try to keep a little bit of drama out of here, though. Yeah, emergency. We got some problems going on. But it's all good. What's up, Superior Aviation? Let's get some peace going on in here. This is to everybody being able to bury the hatchet and have some good times for the rest of the night. All right, guys? Skull. Oh, excuse me, water burp. Have an app on my phone that monitors my heart rate. Oh, okay. Bingo. Shut. All right. I would like to do a live in a split screen with you, Clint. All right, Glitched. We'll see one day. Yeah, we'll see. What you got there, Amethyst? You haven't been texting much? I got you, Superior Aviation. It's all good. Eyes contact is in case of emergency. Yeah. I have that on my phone in front of my dad and stuff like that. Do you have any streaming tips for when I stream at 50 subs? Be yourself. Amethyst, be yourself. Find a niche. Find something that is all you, that you do really good. And for me, it happens to be talking. I'm a talker. You know, I love good conversation. I really, really do. But that's the best thing I can say. Find your talent and take it and run with it. You know, figure out what brings people to you and run with it. And don't stop. Yeah. What's what we got here? All right, Gator. No problem. Oh no, threatening people with a panic attack. Now that's a new one. All right. But yeah, yo, everybody. I'll see you later, Foxy. I'm sorry. You know, sorry to see you leave. But anyway, welcome back into the show, everybody. We're seeing that we've got quite a few people showing up. You've had a crisis before one time? Do I have any tattoos? I have one. I did it myself with an alligator gar tooth is what I was trying to get at. But that's the only one I have. That's my one tattoo, guys. And hey, we've hit 20 likes. Oh yeah, it wasn't too bad. You have 5.1 or 5.0 watch hours. That's not bad there, Bubba. Not at all. Oh, thank you. It's actually a design around a symbol that basically means me. You know, it's like my own rune, you know, is basically what it is. And I enjoy it a lot. Jin, it's okay, baby. I'll talk to you real soon here after the show. I'll show you Glitched later on. Basically, I'll send you an invite and you'll watch your I'll let you know through your email and then I'll send you an invite. And then once you accept the invitation, you'll just pop on over here and I'll put us on live. You know, we can maybe do that tomorrow for afternoon hangout if you wish. But yeah, guys, you know, let's just take and calm down a little bit here, guys, for sure. But hey, we've hit 22 likes. That's actually incredible. We're 35 minutes in. So let's actually enjoy the next few minutes for sure. And let's get another scald ready, guys, because quite frankly, it was said, it was done. We've had a somewhat apology, but we're going to try to make it a good night for the rest of the time, guys. We'll see you later next time, Bubba, okay? Thank you for dropping in. Little too much. Sometimes you accidentally overpour. Especially when it comes down to these drinking horns. Sometimes you can't always tell. What's up, Boyka? What's up, MC? How you doing, MC? See you later, Bubba. I will not calm down, sleep well. Oh, emergency room. What's wrong? Ebilis? Yeah, I wish it was beer, but it's water. I say good night. See you tomorrow. All right, Purple Zombie. We'll see you then. Did I step over the line, Clint? Wasn't my intentions. Apologize if I did. Simps, you're all good, man. The only thing is, all I'm asking is just, let's calm on down and try to have a good live, guys. 5 colors and an artwork for you. All right, give you 5 colors. All right, let's start out with my favorite 4 first. Let's start out with jet black, emerald green, silver, crimson red, and we'll throw in some amber in there with it. Oh yeah, we've been streaming for a little bit here. Yeah, what happened there, Emergency Response Chronicles? Yeah, trying to have a drama-free zone. Yeah, I didn't know that was all your favorite colors. That's cool. But yeah, they've been those first 4 colors are all my favorites. Scald, guys. Oh, let me get rid of some of these messages so we'll quit lagging a little bit. All right. Now we shouldn't lag so much. Well, no, I am going to make her be held accountable for it there, Flying 90, but I'm going to talk to her after the show. Like we were told last time and place for everything. So, I'm going to talk to her afterwards. Because she's probably already left the chat by now. So I'm going to have to go calm her down and talk to her in a little bit. But I do understand why Foxy's mad, and I do understand why Davy's mad. So I will be handling it, Flying 90. Don't worry, brother. I'll tag you in the results on a community post when it's done. All right, Nightshade. Thank you, sweetheart. Wish I knew how to tag people. You recently turned 19? Okay, man. Congratulations. Okay, all that's wrong is just I'm in a crisis. I don't know what to do. Well, what kind of crisis is it, emergency? If it's like a personal... What's up, Dasher? How you doing? If it's a personal crisis, then, we might not be able to help you without knowing the personal situation. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean, to be 19 again. Oh, I can't do it right now, Glitch, but I can do it next time. I can help, too. I was a firefighter / paramedic for 5 years. Okay, Boika. My friend hasn't texted me in 5 days. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, but sometimes life gets in the way. They might just be busy. I was for tomorrow. Oh, okay. I got you. So you want to do it during final thoughts. Understood. So we might just have a hangout session tomorrow with special guest glitched edits. I don't like replying on people in a crisis. I don't I do better dealing with it by myself. I understand. Some people are like that. That's why I said everybody's different in the beginning, because not everybody needs help during a crisis. Some people want to handle it by themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. But every now and then you're going to run across one where you actually need somebody. But anyhow, we are going to be taking and probably ending here in just a minute, guys. The drama and everything happening and going on, it's kind of killing my vibe a little bit. So I kind of have to get my mind back in check. But we're going to do one more good scald. We're going to stay on for about another 4 minutes. And then we're probably going to go on ahead and get off of here, guys, so I could go on ahead and deal with this problem. All right. It's definitely wonderful to see all of you guys. And I hate to always see a fallout between friends. I really do. So let's see if we can get this fixed, guys. Because, maybe there's an explanation behind everything. And we can get down to the bottom of it. All right? This is what I'm hoping. Oh, Jin, calm down. But we're going to talk about it here in just a few minutes, okay, baby? And we're just going to chill out, all right? Gator got you. We got this. Just calm on down. But for right now, guys, we only got just a few more minutes left before I'm going to go on ahead and get off of here, because I got to deal with that and I've still got to go do chores. So, yeah, guys, sorry about that. I was going to go for an hour, but it kind of deflated my sales there a little bit. But it's all good. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's I wear a Green Lantern ring because a lot of what I do to keep myself in check is sheer willpower. And the Green Lantern's abilities run off of will. So I wear a Green Lantern ring to remind me that I have the willpower to face whatever comes my way. So yeah, guys, looks like we're leading towards too much drama going on here. So I'm probably going to go on ahead and just drop it off now before things are said that people will regret. All right, guys. So, love y'all. Appreciate everybody who's been here so much. I will definitely try to be handling this. So, guys, love all of y'all so much. And remember, love your mama, love your papa, love yourself. Be kind. Always find a way to help, guys. We'll check in with y'all here real soon. And I'll talk to y'all later. See you from a swamp, later from a gator.